Hello, guys and gals. This will be part two of the best poems ever. Collection of poetry's greatest voices, edited by Edric S. Mesmer. And we stopped last time on move this out of the way. On page 24, I believe it was. We had just read The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. And so we are going to start this time on page 24 with the poem The Poet is Served Her Papers by Lorna D. Cervantes. I think Cervantes, isn't that Spanish for beer? I don't remember. Anyways, so tell me about fever dreams, about the bad checks we scrawl with our mouths, about destiny, missing last bus to oblivion. I want to tell lies to the world and believe it. Speak easy, speak spoken to, speak lips opening on a bed of nails. Hear the creaking of cardboard in these telling shoes, the mint of my mind gaping far out of style. Hear the milling of angels on the head of a flea. My broke blood is sorrel, is a lone mare, is cashing in her buffalo chips. As we come to the cul-de-sac of our heart's slow division, tell me again about true love's bouquet, paint hummingbird. Hearts taped to my page, sign me over with triple X's and passion, seal on the lick of a phone, my life and pay and pay and pay. That was The Poet is Served Her Papers by Lorna D. Cervantes. Buffalo Dusk by Carl Sandburg. There's a college named after him here in Illinois, I believe. The buffaloes are gone, and those who saw the buffaloes are gone. Those who saw the buffaloes by thousands, and how they pawed the prairie sod into dust with their hoofs, their great heads down, pawing in a great pageant of dusk. Those who saw the buffaloes are gone, and the buffaloes are gone. That was by Carl Sandburg, Buffalo Dusk. Ode on a Grecian Urn. Now, I love this one. I never memorized this one, but this was always one of my favorite poems, too. By John Keats. I'm going to scooch up a little bit so I can see better. This writing is so small. Thou still unravished bride of quietness, thou foster child of silence and slow time, sylvan historian, who canst thus express a flowery tale more sweetly than our rhyme, what leaf-fringed legend haunts about thy shape, of deities or mortals, or of both, in Tempe or the dales of Arcady? What men or gods are these? What maidens loth? What mad pursuit? What struggle to escape? What pipes and timbrels? What wild ecstasy? Heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Therefore ye soft pipes play on, not to the sensual ear, but more endeared. Pipe to the spirit ditties of no tone. Fair youth, beneath the trees thou canst not leave thy song, nor ever can those trees be bare. Bold lover, never canst thou kiss, though winning near the goal. Yet do not grieve, she cannot fade, though thou hast not thy bliss. Forever wilt thou love, and she be fair. Now, wait a minute. Is there more? I think there's more. Yeah, there is. Okay, good. I really like this one. Okay. All happy bows that cannot shed, your leaves not ever bid the spring adieu, and happy melodies unwearied. For ever piping song, forever new. More happy love, more happy, happy love, forever warm and still to be enjoyed, forever panting and forever young, all breathing human passion far above, that leaves a heart high sorrowful and cloyed, a burning forehead and a parched tongue. Who are these coming to the sacrifice? To what green altar, O mysterious priest, leadst thou that heifer lowing at the skies, and at her silken flanks with garlands dressed? What little town by river or seashore, or mountain built with peaceful citadel, is emptied of its folk this pious morn? And, little town, thy streets forevermore will silent be, and not a soul to tell why thou art desolate can e'er return. O Attic shape, fair attitude, what breed of marble men and maidens overwrought with forest branches and the trodden weed, thou silent form dost tease us out of thought, and doth eternity cold pastoral. When old age shall this generation waste, thou shalt remain in midst of other woe than ours, a friend to man, to whom thou say'st, bounty is truth, truth beauty, that is all you know on earth, and all you need to know. That was Ode on a Grecian Urn by Keats, I believe. Ode on a Grecian Urn by John Keats. Beautiful poem. Very well known. This one is called The Night Dances by Sylvia Plath. This is another one that I know. I never memorized it, but I'm aware of Sylvia Plath. A smile fell in the grass, irretrievable, and how will your night dances? And how will your night dances lose themselves in mathematics? Such pure leaps and spirals, surely they travel. The world forever I shall not entirely sit emptied of beauties, the gift of your small breath and drenched grass, smell of your sleeps, lilies, lilies. Their flesh bears no relation, cold folds of ego, and calla. And the tiger, embellishing itself, spots and a spread of hot petals. The comets have such a space to cross, such coldness, forgetfulness, so your gestures flake off. Warm and human, then their pink light bleeding and peeling. Through the black amnesia of heaven, why am I given these lamps, these planets, failing like blessings, like flakes, six-sided white on my eyes, my lips, my hair, touching and melting nowhere. That was a poem by Sylvia Plath. It was The Night Dances. Now we are ready for This Is Just to Say by William Carlos Williams. That's a neat name. Have your first and your last name be almost the same. That is a neat idea. For me, it would be, first and last. Mine would be Adam Boyd Adams. That would be funny. Okay. Anyways, this is just to say, William Carlos Williams. I have eaten the plums that were in the ice box, and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold. It's short and simple, but it's beautiful. I like it. Which recounts how fantasy contents itself with honorable love. This is by, Sorwana Inez de la Cruz. And we're going to go look over here because I'm don't want to be looking through the viewfinder. Stay shadow of contentment, too short-lived, illusion of enchantment, I most prize. Fair image for whom happily I die, sweet fiction for whom painfully I live. If answering your charms, imperative complaint, I like steel I like steel to magnet fly. By what logic do you flatter and entice, only to flee a taunting fugitive? 'Tis no triumph that you so smugly boast, that I fell victim to your tyranny. Though from encircling bonds that held you fast, your elusive form too readily slipped free, and though to my arms you are forever lost, you are a prisoner in my fantasy. Translated by Margaret Sayers Peden. P-E-D-E-N, Peden. And that was Which Recounts How Fantasy Contents Itself with Honorable Love by Sor Juana Inez de la Cruz. Oh, it's not done yet. Oh, this is different. Okay, it is done. They just didn't boldface this title here. Okay, this is by E.E. Cummings. Anyone living in a pretty how town. I think I'm aware of this one. I don't think I've ever read it, but I am aware of the title here and the author. We're going to go over here for now. I'm going to just check to see how long this is. Okay, it ends on this page. Okay, just checking to make sure. Anyone lived in a pretty how town, with up so floating many bells down? Spring, summer, autumn, winter. He sang his didn't, he danced his did. Women and men, both little and small, cared for anyone not at all. They sowed their isn't, they reaped their same. Sun, moon, stars, rain. Children guessed, but only a few, and down they forgot, as up they grew, autumn, winter, spring, summer, that nobody loved him more by more. When by now the tree by leaf, she laughed his joy, she cried his grief, bird by snow, and stir by still. Anyone's any was all to her. Someone's married there, everyone's laughed their cryings and did their dance. Sleep, wake, hope, and then they said their nevers. They slept their dream. Star, rain, sun, moon, and only the snow can begin to explain how children are apt to forget to remember, with up so floats many bells down. One day anyone died, I guess, and no one stooped to kiss his face. Busy folk buried them side by side, little by little, and was by was. All by all, and deep by deep, and more by more they dreamed their sleep. No one and anyone, earth by April, wish by spirit, and if by yes. Women and men, both dong and ding, summer, autumn, winter, spring, reaped their sowing, and went there came sun, moon, star, and rain. That was Anyone Lived in a Pretty How Town by E.E. Cummings. Brilliant poetry. Okay, and I'm just going to check, make sure. Okay, good. Just checking. This is Dulce et decorum est by Winfried Owen. And this is a rather short one. Bent double like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed coughing like hags, we cursed through sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs, and towards our distant rest began to trudge. Men march asleep, many had lost their boots, but limped on blood-shod, all went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of tired outstripping 5 nines, and dropped behind. Gas, quick, boys, an ecstasy of fumbling, fitting and clumsy helmets, just in time. But someone still was yelling out and stumbling and foundering like a man in fire or lime. Dim through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea I saw him drowning. In all my dreams before me helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If in some smothering dream you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his face, his hanging face like a devil's stick of sin. If you could heat at every jolt the blood come gurgling from the froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud, a vile, incurable sores on innocent tongues. My friends, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory of the old lie, dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori. That was Dulce et decorum est by Winfried Owen. And we are on page 37. This is Untitled by Emily Dickinson. She was a very gifted poet, if I recall. My life has stood a loaded gun in corners till a day the owners passed, identified, and carried me away. And now we roam in sovereign woods, and now we hunt the doe. And every time I speak for him, the mountains straight reply. And do I smile such cordial light upon the valley glow? It is as a Vesuvian face had let its pleasure throw. And when at night, our good day done, I guard my master's head, till better than the eider duck's deep pillow to have shared. To foe of him, I'm deadly foe. None stir the second time, on whom I lay a yellow eye, or an emphatic thumb. Though I than he may longer live, he longer must than I, for I have but the power to kill, without the power to die. I guess it's about a gun. We're to page 40. Archaic Torso of Apollo. This is by Rainer Maria Rilke, and it's translated by Stephen Mitchell. And we'll be reading this one. We cannot know his legendary head, with eyes like ripening fruit, and yet his torso is still suffused with brilliance from inside, like a lamp in which his gaze, now turned too low, gleams in all its power. Otherwise, the curved breast could not dazzle you so, nor could a smile run through the placid hips and thighs to the dark center where procreation flared. Otherwise, that the stone would seem defaced beneath the translucent cascade of the shoulders, and would not glisten like a wild beast's fur. Would not from all the borders of itself burst like a star, for here there is no place that does not see you. You must change your life. Translated by Stephen Mitchell. As I said, that is The Archaic Torso of Apollo by Rainer Maria Rilke. To S.M., a young African painter, on seeing his works, by Phyllis Wheatley. Okay, let's see how long this is. Okay. To show the laboring bosom deep intent and thought in living characters to point, When first thy pencil did those beauties give, and breathe figures learnt from thee to live, how did those prospects give my soul delight, a new creation rushing on my sight? Still wondrous youth, each noble path pursue, on deathless glories fix thine ardent view. Still may the painter's and the poet's fire, and aid thy pencil and thy verse conspire, and may the charms of each seraphic theme conduct thy footsteps to immortal fame. High to the blissful wonders of the sky, elate thy soul, and raise thy wishful eyes. Thrice happy, when exalted to survey that splendid city crowned with endless day, whose twice 6 gates on radiant hinges ring, celestial Salem blooms in endless spring. Calm and serene thy moments glide along, and may the Muse inspire each future song, still with the sweets of contemplation blessed. May peace and balmy wings your soul invest, but when these shades of time are chased away, and darkness ends in everlasting day, on what seraphic pinions shall we move, and view the landscapes in the realms above? There shall thy tongue in heavenly murmurs flow, and there my muse with heavenly transport glow, no more to tell of Damon's tender sighs, or rising radiance in Aurora's eyes, for nobler themes demand a nobler strain, and purer language on the ethereal plane. Cease, gentle Muse, the solemn gloom of night now seals the fair creation from my sight. That was to S.M., a young African painter, on seeing his works by Phyllis Wheatley. Next we have from Trilogy, The Walls Do Not Fall, by H.D., I guess? Let's see how long this is. It's not overly long. Ooh, and Jabberwocky's next. We'll try and get that one done too. We're at 22 minutes, so it's possible. It says here, yet we, the latter-day twice born, have had bad moments when, dragging the forlorn husk of self after us, we are forced to confess to malaise and embarrassment. We pull at the dead shell, struggle, but we must wait till the new sun dries off the old body humors. Awkwardly we drag this stale old will, old volition, old habit about with us. We are these people, wistful, ironical, willful, who have no part in New World reconstruction in the Confederacy of Labor. The practical issue of art, the practical issues of art, and the cataloging of utilities. Oh, do not look upon into the air, you who are occupied in the bewildering sand heap maze of present-day endeavor. You will be not so much frightened as paralyzed by inaction. And anyhow, we have not crawled so very far up our individual grass blade towards our individual star. That was from Trilogy, The Walls Do Not Fall by H.D. Now, I think that we have time to read Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. And I'm not sure exactly how long this one is. Nope, it's not very long at all. This is Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. I wish I could tell you which Alice in Wonderland book this is from, but I can't. I just know that I love this poem. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogroves, and the mome wraths outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shunned the frumious bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manzome foe he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as the uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock, with eyes aflame, came whiffling through the tulgey woods, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. This is from, like, American McGee's Alice. I mean, seriously. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day, Callooh Callay, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogroves, and the mome raths outgrabe. That was Jabberwock by Lewis Carroll. Looks like we have time for the Tiger. I love this one. I used to have this one completely memorized because it's basically one of my favorites. The Tiger by William Blake. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer, what the chain? In what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what dread grasp dare its deadly terrors clasp? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears. Did he smile his work to see? Did he who make the lamb make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? And that was The Tiger by William Blake. We have time for another one, I think. This is Mother to Son by Langston Hughes. Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it, and splinters, and boards torn up, and places with no carpet on the floor, bare. But all the time, I's been a-climbin' on, and reachin' landin' and turnin' corners, and sometimes goin' in the dark, where there ain't been no light. So, boy, don't you turn back, don't you set down on the steps, 'cause you find it's kinder hard. Don't you fall now, for I's still goin', honey. I's still climbin', and life for me ain't been no crystal stair. That was Mother to Son by Langston Hughes. We'll read Easter Wings, and then we'll probably call it quits. My foot's going to sleep. There we go. Okay, Easter Wings. This is by George Herbert. Lord, who created man in wealth and store, though foolishly he lost the same, decaying more and more, till he became most poor. With thee, oh, let me rise, as larks harmoniously, and sing this day thy victories. Then shall the fall further the flight in me. My tender age's sorrow did begin, and still with sickness and shame thou didst so punish sin, that I became most thin. With thee let me combine, and feel thy victory, for if I imp my wing on thine, affliction shall advance the flight in me. And that's really neat because it's a picture. That was Easter Wings by George Herbert. And we're going to end that right here. We will pick up with The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost when we get to part 3. Looks like we only have about 20 pages left, so we can probably do that in the final chapter. what will probably be the final part. This has been a reading from The Best Poems Ever, a collection of poetry's greatest voices, edited by Edric S. Mesmer. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like this content, make sure that you hit subscribe and that you like the video, if you indeed like the video, and ring the bell so you know when I upload. I've got a wide variety of content on my channel, and with that being said, all the information that you'll need to know will be in the description. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.